Hands, paws, grippers, not claws. No claws. Not yet. That's another time. Dukes, upper feet, meat oven mitts, or fists. Whatever you call them, most people are born with about to, and sometimes they can do great things. Pastissiers, carpenters, musicians, clerks, like, you know, the people with the stampy things. But sometimes they do not so great things, like the things my hands do where they order stuff online that is not within my budget. What if the one good thing we can do with our fists is destroy a pantheon of godlike emissaries at the end of the world? And the one bad thing is be kind of bad at it. You know the drill. I played the Dark Souls trilogy for the first time in 2019, not including Dark Souls 1, which I played on launch. I haven't played them since then, and although, like with Dark Souls 1, I have played some of DS3 on the co-op mode with two friends in last August, like September-ish, I don't remember where half of anything is, and the bosses are but an ephemeral fever dream. The rules are simple. I can only use fists and fist weapons to deal damage. Buffs are allowed as long as they do not deal direct damage themselves, no status elements, and I have to beat every boss in the base game and DLC. This is the last fist weapon run I will be doing for a while, and needless to say, I'm a little bit blue about it. One last time, I think you can beat Dark Souls 3 with just fist weapons. Let's get some blood on our hands. So we don't have fist weapons yet. So we have to bear fix Yhorm's Gundyr. He's a starting boss, and a good one at that. He can be parried, he can be staggered, and he teaches you about phases. Unfortunately, since we started a bit deprived, we don't do a lot of damage, but not to any other class would have an easier time with this. So we can't just brute force this, we can't just tank this. We actually gotta try and die, and die, and die, then die, then die. Does that make sense? With a little bit of patience, a little flirting with openings, we judge to judge and tell Yhorm's you a dick. We say hello to the Firekeeper, absolutely forget how to do the roof jump. I looked it up and realized I was jumping at the wrong place. That's better. We grab the Estus shard and get the covetous silver serpent ring for more souls, and then we can travel to High Wall of Lothric. So this is cardio we're not strong enough to do anything like. We can grab an Estus shard and then explode, that's something. Oh, we can get lost in Gang 2, is that something? Oh, and we get a banner. Yay. So we still don't have access to fist weapons, and we got another boss to fight. Vort, and yeah, we beat Yhorm, so this should be doable. So phase 1 is easy, but phase 2 is rude. It's actually just rude. He hits in a much greater area, he's a lot more aggressive, and every time we try to deal damage to him, it's not a lot. And he just won't stop moving. Take a break, buddy. Please. Stop. Stop.
I'd say it's just what you deserve. You hurt my feelings and now you're gonna die for it!
Good feckin' grief for it. Shut up and listen. You said that everything has a name, didn't you? Then I'll name my ability too. It'll be Fist Holes 3. Because somehow, I'm going to fist my way out of the sea of holes at least 3 times. Did you hear me? Fist Holes 3. That's the name. If there's some sort of hierarchy in this kingdom, then I will follow it as much as I need to. But I'm gonna be the one giving out orders here. Now call up some flying ball boys and get me the hell out of this rampart. At the Undead settlement, we play Ring Around a Doggy and speedrun the old fella into joining us at Firelink. I hope he's like the beach that makes you old. We rush through the Undead settlements to get the Cestus, KS2s if you're feeling classical, and level them up just the once. The damage is looking a lot better, let me tell you. Not Seal of the Vanquisher level, but far less upsetting. On our way to Sigurd, his biggest fans get to him first. We make friends with the giant, then talk to our buddy Sigurd again about killing a demon. First attempts, alright, that's more range than I was expecting. The second attempt goes by so much better, and we claim Flynn's ring, which increases our attack the less gear we have on, and right now we don't have a whole lot of anything on. The Cestus themselves barely weigh anything too. Grand. We crack on with the Chloranthy ring, upgrade the Cestus a little more, and then we take on the Curse-Rotted Greatwood. Shit, we ran out of balls. I'm not used to that. Oh wait, there's one. With them destroyed, we can return to Firelink Shrine, and Yoel of Londor is straight with us.
I'm gonna be constructive here. You should kill yourself.
Yoel will draw out our true strength every 2 or so deaths, and the fastest way to do that is by jumping. Though this will grant us up to 5 free levels at a cost of drying us out like a corpse, but that's okay. The ever gender fluid Henri of Astora is into that. At the Road of Sacrifice, the Crystal Sage got the better of us more than once. I had to take a break, but after a brief respite where I drank some water, the New Age Crystal Salesman learns that Amethyst doesn't do shit against fists. We don't take on the Cathedral just yet. Just so we can collect more smithing stones, I head to Faron's Keep where I absolutely do nothing wrong.
I'm gonna do what I'm gonna do, and he's gonna do what he's gonna do.
Twice. I snuff out some chimneys on the way, have a look out for some stray demons. Oh, there's one. Trip down memory lane, I tell ya. Snuff out one last chimney, and then we can fight the Abyss Watchers. Oh, they beat me to it. Nice. So the Abyss Watchers don't have an awful lot of health, and that's good. But I'm having some fisty nerves. Phase 1 is fine, but Phase 2 I am struggling to find an opening in between attacks. I normally love this fight, but the Cestus really got in my head. The time wasted getting into position after dodging an attack means that playing defense makes it harder to hit back, and with the Abyss Watcher's speed and damage, the same is true in reverse. This isn't an issue that can be solved with more damage or health, it's all about mentality, and at that moment I wasn't in the correct headspace. So instead we did a rational thing, we went to church. Okay, so this is a lot more run down than the cathedrals I'm used to. I mean, the parishioners look the same, but our giants are way smaller and the floor's a little less dirty. You know, growing up I always wondered what was behind the altar. And it's more priests.
We were looking for the toilets and we wandered in here by mistake. Get out, it's huge!
No. I know what this is. This is where the Archdiocese keeps the unmentionable priests. Unfortunately, we need to fight our way out. Despite being blocked in, we managed to tell the bishop to feck off and score a peculiar doll. We flirt with Henri. Yul unfortunately has passed on, but he's been replaced with Uria. Sorry, Uria, I was thinking of Piss. Now, we want to go here because she gives us access to a new fist weapon, the Dark Hand. Which is a pretty interesting weapon. It deals mostly dark damage, it has alright scaling, but it cannot be upgraded. Although this situationally will come in dark handy, so don't worry. Next up is the Watchers again, and yeah, these lads really aren't interested in letting me join in. That's fine, I can wait my turn.
As great as I am at this, I'm not really necessary.
And wow, this attempt went by so smoothly that none of my complaints from before were even relevant. Better time dodges meant less time wasted. The difference between a hard boss and a weak boss can literally just be your perspective. At the Catacombs of Carthus, we slay a rather cunty looking skeleton for an undead bone shard, talk to Henri about our missing buddy Horus, and then knock down this bridge, all just to die to a demon. The demon can suck with fire, are you kidding me? Next time around we kill him and get the soul of a demon, but I'm still angry. At the Smouldering Lake we have the Ballista take out Clair, and yes, I do still love Clair even though he's a worm. Grab some large Titanite shards for some upgrades, and while we do, we meet up with Horus. Okay Horus, I don't love this energy. I was worried I was gonna lose this, I kept fecking up my dodges, but luckily we have the Dark Hand.
Surge, suck it down.
Back at Firelink, we finally get our hands on the Demon's Fist. And noticing the lack of dex scaling, we switch to a heavy infusion for the Cestus and respec our unnecessary dex points. We return to the Catacombs to fight High Lord Volnir. And this is beyond grand. You break his bangles and unfortunately he has no time to walk like an Egyptian before he's pulled back into his chalice. The physically and fiery resistant old Demon King gets darkly fisted. He might have a lot of AoEs and hit pretty hard, but he is slow and old, and it's never not time to take advantage of the elderly. Now I want the Titanite slab off of Sigurd later on, so I have to get his armor off of Patches to rescue him from the well. But since we did it out of order and opened Rosaria's bedchamber before opening the main gates, Patches has gone walkies. What can we do? Well, luckily we can buy the tower key and Patches will lock us in this tower. Thank you, I guess. With the armor bought, the well guard is now well guarded.
Well, guards, guard your well. Well.
At Irithyll of Boreal Valley, this Doggigator gets the better of us. But the next time we just bait out the bread attacks a few times and swing away. We mostly just ran through the city, not really taking in the sights and sounds. The locals are kinda shit, always the way. After the sewer, we share a brew with Sigurd, and we open up the shortcut to Pontiff Sullivan, but we don't fight him yet. Instead, we head to the dungeon. And for some reason, the Dark Hand just didn't want to hook onto Alva. So instead of grabbing her and getting some health back, we didn't grab her and took damage instead. Okay, so these jailers, absolutely not. I'm gonna be real. I hope you get a venereal disease. We unlock the relevant shortcuts for later. Kill a giant for a chunk, 2 kinds of chunks. Get the Xanthus ashes for later. These will be very important, I tell ya. And then we dash our way to the Profaned capital to fight Yhorm. And specifically, I do not rescue Sigurd because I wanted to do this on my own. So silly Billy time. I didn't know that you could stagger him for a critical by attacking his right hand. I thought you needed to hit his head. And for some reason, I mostly only hit his left hand, so I didn't even trigger it by accident. Now this can stagger him, but it does not gear him up for a critical hit. In fact, during my second attempt, I got him down to about 20% just by punching his shins before I died. So then I looked it up, and you can crit his head by attacking his right hand, my left. And yeah, suddenly this very long, boring, winded, awful fight is actually very manageable and quick. Having a game plan and not flailing around sure does make things a lot easier. We free Sigurd for the Titanite slab. I mean, we didn't just free him for the Titanite slab. Oh, we did. Our motivations are corrupt. How is he gonna get out of here? Back at Firelink, I accidentally fell on our Firekeeper. I am a good person, I'm just having a bad day. Pontiff sully my van. I was scared of him, and yeah, attempt 1 is a bit of a bust. I thought his parry timings were going to be a little bit more intuitive, but I missed him completely. But second go round, no, the windows were actually fine, I was the problem. The clone scares me to fucking phase 2, and I end up floundering a bit, but eventually I get my nerve back and we beat the sullied van second try. So on to an Orlando.
The same. It's not. Actually, something terrible happened.
Now, like many returning locations in Dark Souls 3, they've seen better days. Especially Anne Orlando. The Giant Smith is dead, the stairs squelch, and look, here. Ornstein and Smo were an incredibly toxic couple, but at least they kept a tidy castle. I think we should probably confront Aldrich.
This place is a shithole. Is this how you've been living?
We make it work.
So Aldrich is not like a hard fight, not in the traditional sense. It's just messy. Visually, it's got broken geometry, Aldrich's staff is swinging around wildly, his big sluggy wuggy body, all of the AoEs, the feckin' arrow rain, the fire. It takes us 2 attempts, and on the second we kill him, but we die from one of the AoEs that spawn while he's fleeing, but also in this case simultaneously dying. It's not a bad fight, it's just messy. Back at Lothric Castle, I died to Dancer of Boreal Valley. This isn't a hard fight by any means, but her weird spindly movements make her range a little deceptive. She always has that like wee bit more range than you were expecting. We switch to Dark Hand because, yeah, it's unupgradable, but Dancer's weak to dark damage and the Dark Hand is niche as fuck, but when it works, it feckin' works. We wander around Lothric Castle, collecting upgrade materials for our Demon's Fist and Cestus. Scales and chunks galore. And on my way to activating the shortcut to the Dragon Slayer armor, this happened. Rude. But then this happened! Really? Okay, so the tilt was something else entirely. I have never ever had an issue with beating Dragon Slayer armor. Apart from the Pilgrim Butterflies, if you die to the Dragon Slayer armor, normally it's on you, but I couldn't hack it. Attempt after attempt of avoidable death. After the 4th attempt, I took another break to drink some water. That's better. That's way better. Stay hydrated. Just do it. It's better than the alternative. No point being a pissmire. No. It was around about here that I started experimenting with going into medium roll. My logic was, the fast roll was covering too much ground, and I was wasting time getting back into position. The logic is somewhat sound, but not really. We run past the consumed King's Garden and find Osiris. I love how they copied the rig from Osiris used for the demi-human queens in Elden Ring. Like, wildly different implementations. One is a mid to late game boss, the other is a field enemy and occasionally field boss. It's one thing I like about these games, the skills become surprisingly transferable. In Firelink Shrine, but the lights are turned off, Champion Gundyr gives us far less hassle than he did at the start of this run. Again, I love this boss. You're out here showing all of us a good time. We try meditating next to a corpse in order to meet an ancient wyvern. And I got so bullied on my way up to the plunge point. Like, calm down, snake people. Can I say that? At Archdragon's Peak, we don't engage, we just run to the Great Belfry with a quick detour to get this Titanite slab near the Havel impersonator. So I was gonna fight him, but after that riposte, no. Let's just fight the king whose name I forgot. Attempt 1 is a disaster. We get through phase 1, we always get through phase 1, and after you've hit the dragon's head a few times it will stagger and you can finish them off pretty quickly. And through many attempts we can only get better and more efficient at that. But I cannot read a single attack in phase 2. I remember the timings, but I just can't do it consistently. Dark Souls 3 tilts the fuck out of me in the same way Elden Ring does, and I think it's the Ember/Rune Arc problem. If you die in any of the games, you lose soul/runes but can reclaim them provided you don't die on the way. But if you die in Dark Souls 3 and Elden Ring, you lose the Ember/Rune Arc and there are only a limited supply of them in the game. So if you fall into the habit of using Embers and Arcs as part of your core build, which I have a tendency to do, a death is not a death, it is a loss. Now, there are similar systems in Dark Souls 1 and 2, but humanity was a currency, and the human effigies only removed a gradual debuff. In Dark Souls 1, if I kindle a bonfire, it remains kindled. It's not a wager. Moreover, like with my souls, I can reclaim liquid humanity. Now, if I die in DS2, I lose 5% stacking health up to 10 times. And only 2.5% if I equip the Ring of Binding. If I rely on Embers as part of my core build in DS3, then every death is effectively losing 30% health, 6 times worse than a single death in Dark Souls 2. Realistically, it depends on your perspective. For some, the Ember is just a boon, a reward for not dying, for beating a boss. But when you're so used to having it, it can feel like something you're entitled to. And I think that's where my tilt was coming from. I wasn't dying to mobs, that rarely happen in this game. That's one thing Dark Souls 3 is very good at, but I was dying to bosses. I think for now, we gotta take the L. There are other bosses that need me to complain about them, so DS3 DLC bosses. I've only ever fought Sister Fried. Yep. Sister Fried and Father Ariandel are the only DLC boss that I have fought. Wait, what am I talking about? As soon as I reached Sister Fried's church, I remembered I'm getting married today. Fuck. Okay, okay, well, this is a weird wedding tradition, but still less oppressive than a destination wedding. Damn it, I forgot the ring. Wait there, Henri. Let me just check. Oh, this is nice. Yeah, I'm gonna keep this. Oh, what about this one? No, that's better on me. Well, I guess marriage is a social construct anyway. Which, yeah, no, it is, so it doesn't really make much sense to say. But you know what else doesn't make sense? Champion's Gravetender. This is the worst fight I have ever had. I don't like fighting dogs in these games. They attack fast, they dodge faster. At least the Gravetender can be parried, that's a plus, but the Great Wolf, please, it's a giant heap of shite wolf. And yeah, the run back, sweet baby girl Miyazaki, what do you mean I have to knock down the bridge every fucking time?
To what end? To what end?
And to climb down all the way? Oh my god, this is awful. Phase 1 always feels annoying even when it goes well. But the giant heap of shite wolf is awful. The attacks come out so fast, and she is quick to jump back. Oftentimes we can't even hit her from her side because we can't reach the fucking hitbox. After a few deaths, I made a backup save outside the boss, and I'm glad I did, because this wolf was getting on my nerves. On the winning attempt, she wouldn't even let me get close enough to attack. I stopped attempting Nameless King because I was tilted, only to fight the single most annoying and tilting boss in the game. My opinion, I guess. But still, after killing yet more dogs...
You're a stone cold atrocity.
Oh my god, not the time, Gina. Read the room. So after having a medium roll for a while, I decided to go back to Old Faithful. I was too used to having more iframes, and it was just... it was a bad decision in the first place. Sir Wilhelm gives us some grief, so we parry and slap him until he stops moving. It's cool to see the Onyx Blade, what would become the Godslayer Greatsword. The evolution of DS3 into Elden Ring is a delight. We deal with a fly infestation in the church and just the one wolf, so we can open the church's secret basement. Someone tell your archdiocese it is not humane to keep all of your ugly priests in the basement. It's fucking weird. And as soon as we go checking them, one of the nuns comes after me. Sister Fried is such a good fight. Phase 1 is a duel where Fried dashes in and out in easily telegraphed attacks. She is controlled, she is calculated, she jumps into the shadows ready to strike. But in Phase 2, we fight both her and Father Ariandel, a chaotic clash of fire and ice. Father Ariandel attacking like a wild beast, while Fried watches and waits for you to make a mistake, even taking the care to heal her fellow clergy in the midst of chaos. For Phase 3, she becomes ruthless. Unable or unwilling to hold back her flames, her controlled strikes now a cyclone and occlusion front. For the winning attempt, Phase 1 goes off without a hitch. Phase 2, we focus on Father Ariandel and watch for Fried to begin healing for the back attack. Finally, in Phase 3, our Ash of War or weapon art with the Demon Fist is this spinning attack. It doesn't do a lot of damage, but it's great for stunlocking Sister Fried, albeit temporarily. We eventually get in with a rolling attack and claim the victory. Back in Nameless, we get to try again, but this time without the clothes weighing us down.
I finally get it now. I need to get naked.
With the improved dodge roll, Names goes down on our first attempt back. I still make quite a few mistakes and I am punished from my endless greed, but he is finally dead. Still no name though. What's that about? Sent me spiraling. At the Duke's Archives, I get murdered by this little fucker. Twice. But with a lot more cardio, we eventually reach the princes.
Another dogged contender. Welcome, unkindled one, purloiner of cinders.
Did this little shit just call me a purloiner of cinders? Sir, I have killed for those cinders. I am something far worse than a mugger or a flim-flam agent. Sure, we lose the first attempt. The constant teleporting is a little bit discombobulating, but Lothric's magic in Phase 2 adds a lot of pressure to an already very aggressive boss. Avoiding projectiles on top of evading a boss who periodically wrests control of your camera from you, it's nothing if not a satisfying fight, but a very overstimulating one. One base game boss left, 4 more DLC ones to go. The Dreg Heap's architecture reminds me a lot of old Ulasil. My biggest regret for this whole Ring City DLC is that I didn't play this as a DLC, I rushed through it. It's not a huge deal, but I think I gotta play it for fun at one point. Anyway, this is Erden Peak.
It's the same. It's not. Actually, something terrible happened.
I didn't notice this obvious curse building up here and died. Oopsie poopsie. Then Zoe burns me to death a short while later. God, NPC fights in DS3 are so much worse than DS1 and 2. But before long, we do eventually reach the demons in various states of being. So this is technically not my first time fighting them. They are in Night Rain, but it's my first time fighting them not in a group of 3. And
Oh no, I already hate this.
Now for context, I like the fights individually, but they heavily resist our demon fists and we're stuck using the cestus. I enjoyed Phase 1 a lot and potentially could enjoy Phase 2, it just takes an awful long time to get to Phase 2, only to lose while learning the Demon Prince's patterns. And if you defeat a different one, you get a different Demon Prince moveset. So after my solid hour of attempts against these demons, I only know how to proficiently defeat the Demon Prince born from the demon below and not the demon in pain. We couldn't use the Demon Fist for obvious fiery reasons, and instead used the Cestus, which we buffed with gold pine resin, courtesy of the Xanthus ashes from earlier. After committing enough Principicide for one day, we make it to the Ring City. Oh shit, I still haven't gotten Henri a ring. They have a sword through their skill. I'm sure nothing else is going through their mind. Yeah, so the archers aren't the threat that they look like. On my first attempt through, I did get so lost though that I missed a bonfire and then died to gravity mixed with DS3's version of Spyra. Let's do this one more time. I got so lost in this area. Like, I only had to walk in a straight line. It's a curved line, but like it's linear. Does that make sense? Madir says hello. Twice, actually. But we're not dealing with him right now. For now, we get the Chloranthy ring +3 and take on a kinda shit boss, Half-Light Spear of the Church. It's an NPC fight with a few periodical painted guardians. Now, if you're online, it will be a player that appears instead of the NPC, which is kinda cool, but honestly, this whole experience feels like a waste of time. While it only took 2 attempts, this is objectively the worst fight in the Ring City, but by a wide margin. Luckily, we can just spin on Timothy Chalamet and move past this fecking nightmare. Next up is Madir, and we gotta knock him off this cliff and then find him in a hole at the back of a secret church. Obviously. Now, Madir's name comes from Ygr, a Goidelic god, son of the Dagda and sometimes attributed as an underworld god similar to Hades. But there's no underworld in Goidelic mythology, at least not to my knowledge. There is an otherworld, Tir na Nog and the House of the Dead, but nothing similar to the Greek Tartarus. Anyway, my point in bringing this up is that in Celtic myth and legend by Charles Squire, Ymir was said to have 3 cranes of denial and churlishness, which would stand at his door, and when anyone approached them, the first one would say, "Do not come, do not come." The second one would say, "Get away, get away." And the third one would say, "Go past the house, go past the house." Now, when we first encounter Madir, he fires a warning shot, "Do not come." The second time he impedes our progress, "Get away." Now, there is no third time, mind you, however, his hidden chapel is between our destinations. So, when we went to go fight Half-Light, we went past the house. Honestly, bit of a stretch. Huge if true though. Anyway, fantastic fight. We don't do a lot of damage, like barely anything, and he can do tons to us, so this could have been harder. A lot harder. But he's a fucking dragon. All we do is fight dragons in this series. Final boss of the DLC, so let's break Philionor's egg. I'm sorry, did you talk to Yol too? Don't threaten me with a good time. So Phase 1 Gale is an animal. Literally, he fights like a beast. He overextends with every swing, leaving himself open for reprisal. It's a vicious brawl. We fight back against his frenzy, and when we do enough damage, he coughs up black blood, proof that he has succeeded in his mission. In this phase, he wields his sword with far greater control. His attacks are more varied and far more punishing. He can throw rings of light, use a hand crossbow, and wield the power of the Dark Soul to turn his cape into a living weapon. This is one hell of a spectacle. It's a beautiful fight. Despite the fact that our attacks still sometimes miss, his animations communicate when he is vulnerable. We don't do amazing damage, but we can stagger him slightly, and this gives us a lot of breathing room when it does happen. With only a handful of attempts, Gale passes the torch, metaphorically, as he gives us the pigment. You probably noticed me change my garb. I fucking love this robe. It's fancy. I deliver Gale's legacy, his blood, to the painter, and we are done with the DLCs. With that chapter closed, we can finally turn our attention back to the end of the fucking world. We take the flames from the former lords and make our way to fight the soul of Cinder. When I first fought this boss fight 6 years ago, I didn't like it. I thought he was too hard. But yeah, I disagree with me. This was a fine fight, grand even. It's not my favorite by any means, mechanically at least, but thematically it's incredible. The culmination of the different chosen undeads and Gwendolyn, it fucking slaps. It's a very sloppy first try, but now when we claim the fire for ourselves, we can reflect on Dark Souls fisticuffs. I'm glad this is over. I do love punching people, places, and things, but god do I miss having range. Dark Souls 3 is far more complex than its predecessors, so the flaws with the fist weapons are a lot more noticeable than they were in the prior 2 entries. With the fist weapons over, I've decided that I actually do want to focus on challenge runs for the future. I really enjoyed making these last 3 videos, and I will be back with a new video in 2 weeks. I'm Evil Phil, thanks for watching, talk to ya.